Welcome back to your daily dose of ancient wisdom. Today, we start with the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana, Book 1, Discourse 1, which is Saunaka and other sages interrogate the famous Suta or Ugrasrava. We meditate on that transcendent reality of God for whom this universe springs up, in whom it abides and into whom it returns, because He is invariably present in all existing things and distinct from all non-entities, who is self-conscious and self-effluent, who revealed to Brahma the very first year, by his mere will, the Vedas that cause the bewilderment even to the greatest sages, in whom this threefold creation consisting of sattva, rajas, and tamas, though unreal, appears as real because of the reality of its substratum, even as sun's rays, which are made up of the element of fire, are mistaken for water in mirage, water for earth and earth for water, and whoever excludes Maya by his own self-effulgent glory. In this glorious Bhagavata, produced by the great sage Vedavyasa, has been taught that supreme religion, the religion of God worship, the Bhagavata Dharma, as it is called, which is entirely free from all self-deception in the shape of desire, including desire for moksha or liberation too. Nay, herein has been expounded the absolute reality which can be known only by saints who are free from all malice, nay, which is the bestower of supreme bliss and uproots the threefold agony, the agony caused by bodily distemper, that which is attributed to natural agencies, and that inflicted by fellow beings. While it is doubtful that God can be speedily captured in one's heart by other means, He can be instantly seized through this work by those blessed persons who have a keen desire to hear it recited. O ye devotees, possessing a taste for divine joy, Srimad Bhagavata is the fruit essence of the wish-yielding tree of Veda, dropped on earth from the mouth of the parrot-like sage Suta, and is full of nectar of supreme bliss. It is unmixed sweetness, devoid of rind, seed, or other superfluous matter. Go on drinking this divine nectar again and again till there is consciousness left in you. Once upon a time, in the forest known as Naimisharanya, the modern Nimisar in Audh, a place sacred to Lord Vishnu, Saunaka and other sages were engaged in a great sacrifice to be completed in the course of 1,000 years, with a view to realize the Lord who is sung in the heaven and is the abode of his devotees. One morning, having poured oblations into the sacred fire, the sages paid their respects to Suta, and when he had taken his seat, they asked him the following questions with due reverence. The sages said, O sinless Suta, you have indeed studied and also expounded all the Puranas and Itihasas as well as the codes of law. Whatever is known by the divine sage Badarayana, who is Vedavyasa, so called because he is reputed to having his abode in the grove of jujube trees, the foremost among the knowers of Veda, and even by other sages who have realized both the qualified and absolute aspects of Godhead. You know all that is in reality by their grace, which you are able to earn by your guiltless and pure heart. for the teachers confide even their profoundest secrets to their beloved pupils. Be pleased to tell us, O long-lived Suta, that which you have determined through a study of all those sacred books as the unfailing and easy means to the supreme good of men. O the ornament of holy congregations, in this age of Kali, people are mostly short-lived, slothful, little inclined to tread the path of God realization, most dull-witted, unlucky, and tormented with diseases and other evils. The scriptures too are numerous and inculcate not one discipline, but a number of practices and rituals, and besides, being too voluminous, they have to be listened to part by part. Therefore, benevolent as you are, draw out by your critical insight their quintessence and declare the same to us who are full of faith, so that our mind may become placid and tranquil. Suta, God bless you. You know the purpose for which the divine Lord, the protector of his devotees, was born to Devaki, Vasudeva's consort. Dear Suta, please explain it to us who are keen to hear of the same, for the Lord's descent onto this earth is intended for the protection and prosperity of all living beings. Anyone who has fallen into the terrible whirlpool of birth and death can be speedily delivered from the same if he utters his name even helplessly, for fear itself is afraid of the Lord. Suta, sages who have taken shelter in his feet and therefore abide in a perfect calm 4 feet, purify those who come in contact with them, whereas the waters of celestial stream of Ganges cleanse the hearts only by long and continued use, because they are no longer in direct touch with those feet, although they still retain the purifying virtue because of the touch they once had with them. Is there anyone who, through desirous of purifying one's soul, would refuse to hear the glory of that divine Lord whose exploits are extolled by saints of holy renown, since such glory wipes out the impurities of Kali age? Narrate to us, who are full of reverence, the noble doings of the Lord, who playfully assumes various forms, the doings that have been sung by seers like Narada and others. O wise Suta, now recount the blessed stories of the descent of the Almighty Lord, who enacts at will sports of various kinds by dint of his Yoga Maya, the divine potency. We, for our part, are never sated with hearing the exploits of illustrious Lord, which are more and more delightful to hear at every step to those listeners who have a taste for sweet things. Indeed, the divine Sri Krishna, who has disguised himself in a human semblance, performed his elder brother Sri Balarama feats that were beyond human power. Having come to know that the age of Kali has arrived, we are assembled in the holy retreat sacred to Sri Vishnu for a long sacrificial session, and have thus got ample time to hear the stories of Sri Vishnu, Sri Hari. This age of Kali takes away the purity of men's heart and is thus difficult to conquer. Anxious as we are to get over this Kali, Providence has arranged our meeting with you, even as a pilot is shown to those who seek to cross turbulent sea. Since Sri Krishna, the master of yoga, the friend of Brahmanas, and the protector of virtue, has left for his abode in the heaven, tell us in this whom has righteousness sought protection now. Thus ends the first discourse, forming part of the story relating to Naimisa forest in Book 1 of the great and glorious Bhagavata Purana, otherwise known as Paramashastra Samhita, the book of God realized soul. Thank you.